We are in Module 2, and as you can see, Module 2 is covering Chapters 3 and 4, which is Social Perception and the Self. So here is the to-do list for this module. Again, you want to always make sure that you are listening to the full podcast for any details. And then next you will be going through and reviewing the chapter objectives, which are listed right here. We have Chapters 3 and Chapter 4. So going back up here, tomorrow I will be posting all of the feedback on your discussion posts for your first discussion from Module 1. So you want to go through and click onto your grade on the discussion in Gradebook. So if you go to My Grades, you're going to see the only thing listed there will be your Module 1 discussion grades. And if you click into each one, you'll see my feedback. Additionally, you're going to want to go into the discussion board itself, into the thread of the Module 1 discussion, and find your posts and see what comments I made about your posts, because I also will comment on things that you posted in your original post and things that you posted in response to other people's posts. So you want to go through and do that. That's valuable feedback that you might take home some pointers for the next round of discussions, which are going to be due Friday. So you want to make sure that you have all of that beforehand. And actually, I think your original post is due Friday and your responses are due Saturday. But definitely take a look at all of the due dates on the syllabus are listed there. But before you would even dive into doing those posts for the week, please do check my feedback. If you're doing anything wrong, you want to make sure that you know what it is so you can fix it. If there's anything additional that you could have done, I might make suggestions on, hey, here's what you can do next time. So that's all valuable feedback that you're going to want to get so that you can integrate into your new responses. So be looking for that. If we scroll down here, you'll see here are the article readings for the week. For the Module 2 are Articles 13 and Article 5. And again, these, if you're kind of getting used to this still, as you noticed in the last module, those articles are more like pop psych articles based on research. So it's meant to be catchy, it's meant to draw you in and get your attention on a topic, but then it throws in and integrates research, which then you'll also be noticing is usually always mentioned in your textbook as well. So again, the articles are meant to play off of the textbook and coincide really nicely with the material that we're covering there. Here are your lecture slides for chapters 3 and 4. And again, I mentioned this in the welcome podcast, but I'll say it again. It's a good idea to print these out. They come 3 slides on a page with notes next to each. And I would even have those slides next to you as you're reading through the chapters. Then you can kind of coordinate what's on the lecture slides with what's in the text. You can write additional notes on the side margins. It's just a really helpful way to study and to read the material to make sure that you're getting everything and you're tapping into the key points that I want you to get. In addition to the videos that are in Revel, you'll also have this video here, The Self in a Digital World. It's just a quick little spoof that kind of pokes fun at our use of Twitter and Facebook and just how it's changing the way that we view ourselves. Those 2 social media outlets tend to be avenues for endless types of self-expression, but how is it changing our perceptions of ourselves as well as of others? So being in this sort of digital crowd, how is that framing our mindset, our cognitions, and how is it defining us? Is it making us more reactive to other people, and is our thinking contingent upon what we view others doing? So that's what that video is all about, and it'll play in nicely actually to the readings that you have this week in the articles. Here's another quick little video, a YouTube video called Look Up, again dealing with social media and electronic devices. And this video here, Secrets of Body Language, is a longer one. It's actually 90 minutes, and it is jam-packed with a ton of stuff that's included in your chapter for the week about body language. So everything from verbal and nonverbal expressions to how we can use our body language to amass power and advance our careers. You'll be taking a look at some very popular celebrities and political figures, and it is pretty much picking apart their facial expressions, their eye contact, and their body language to see how they use it to their advantage and sometimes to their disadvantage. So it's a longer video, but again, I would, have your lecture slides next to you maybe as you're watching the video, and then you can jot down notes on the side and you'll be able to make connections to the material a little bit better that way. And then the last video here is just taking a look at our self-concept. It's the Dove Beauty Sketch Artist short video clip, probably about 4 or 5 minutes, in particular looking at women's self-perceptions compared to their friends' perceptions of them, how those differ. And so here, some topics that come into play are social comparison, the looking glass self, which is based off Margaret Mead's work in anthropological research as well as psychology. If we go back up to the chapters here, you're going to see some of those concepts in here. So if we're looking at objectives for Chapter 3 in social perception, here you're going to see a ton of stuff from the videos, micro expressions, facial feedback hypothesis. These are all theories as to how we use our facial expressions as a way to communicate, and pros and cons of that. There's some conversation about deception and the use of deception, detecting deception, which plays in nicely with Jones and Davis's theory of correspondent inference, as well as Kelly's theory of causal attribution. So those are some really key seminal concepts in social psych that you should really have a strong handle on. Try to get as many examples as you can for these types of theories, making sure you're understanding it. Again, one of the challenges with social psych is it's an applied area of psychology. So while you're learning the concepts and you might know the definitions of everything, you might have those written on note cards, really the challenge is knowing how to apply it to real world scenarios and situations. It's one thing to understand what a definition is, it's another to see how it would actually be in effect in the real world. So I'm all about using those real world examples, which is another great reason why you should be doing the practice exams in Revel, because they give you sort of scenario-based questions to practice with to see if you're understanding the concepts and the material in that applied manner that I'm looking for. So that's all the videos. Your discussion for this week, again, you should be reading Articles 5 and 13, reading the text chapters, and watching the videos before you even attempt the discussion. And then you're going to go ahead and write an original response to these first 2 questions here, and then give it about a day. Everyone needs to get their responses in before you then go in and comment on 3 other people's posts. And again, you're going to want to look at your feedback that I give you on Module 1 posts. But as you're responding to other people's posts, you want to extend it more than just, oh, I like what you said, or, I agree with what you said. You want to extend it out. Did they miss something? Was there something else they could have included? Can you add to it in any way? Can you tie in a concept? Does it play off of something you said? And what was that? These are all ways that you can extend the dialogue beyond just a few sentences. These posts should be thoughtful. They should be taking, a good deal of time because these discussions are half your grade. They take the place of what we would be doing in an in-classroom environment if we were discussing in class. So they really need to be thoughtful and well planned out. Grammar is a must, and spell check and all of that. We shouldn't be writing like we're texting, which sometimes, that's the error a lot of people make, is, you're writing these fast and they're quick posts, and sometimes we tend to ignore, some of the basics of grammar that we might do were we sitting down writing an actual paper. So just, think of this as a paper. You're doing this for this class, and this is my way of gauging your understanding of the material. So aside from the discussion, exam 2 is open until the 7th, so that is Sunday. It closes at 11:59 p.m. That means you have all the way up until Sunday at 11:59 p.m. to take your exam. And again, I would really highly recommend doing practice exams in Revel before you attempt this exam. The Revel exams I do not look at. I do not grade them. They're purely for you to practice with, but they're good indicators of whether or not you're understanding the material. So that wraps up Module 2. And as usual, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me or to post to the discussion board and ask your peers. Either way, I hope it all goes well. Thanks, everyone.